Guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here. Welcome to another predictions video. We have already done the Premier League a short while back. We've done the World Cup as well and a bunch of other competitions. But now, finally, I'm giving my group stage predictions for the UEFA Champions League. I, of course, have a name and a reputation to uphold with these predictions. I am, of course, the prediction god. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to get straight into it. These are League group stage predictions for 2018-2019. Getting things kicked off with Group A, we have got Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, Monaco, and Club Brugge. I'm going to list every single team in every single group from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, just not throwing in who I think is going to get out of the group. I'm literally going to try to completely structure it perfectly. The team I'm going to chuck straight up on top is going to be Atletico Madrid. They are the Europa League champions, and I expect so much more from them than just that, to be honest. I'm thinking for sure they've got to make it through to the knockouts, of course, this year. It's got to happen or later on this season. I think Dortmund are probably going to fill that second spot as well, only because they normally perform pretty nicely in the at least group stage of the Champions League, and I expect them hopefully to make it through the knockout rounds this time. And I nearly gave it to Monaco, but I think just going to fall short in a somewhat tough group. I think Group A and Group C are maybe tied for the toughest groups here, potentially, to get out of. And Club Brugge, there's normally in every single Champions League group that one team we kind of expect to finish on the bottom. And for me, Club Brugge compared to Monaco, Dortmund, and Atletico Madrid, I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to put Madrid on top pretty comfortably. Maybe not pretty comfortably, but I will have Madrid on top. Their, of course, stadium, the Wanda Metropolitano, will be hosting the final this season. So how cool would it be if they made it all the way and got to play in the final of the Champions League in their own backyard? Now for Group B, and another pretty interesting one, we have Barcelona, Tottenham, PSV, and Inter Milan. Barcelona are normally just coast through the group stages of the Champions League. I struggle to think the last time they didn't finish at least first in their group, no matter who they've been drawn up against. It's always not much of a challenge for them in the group stages, but in recent years, man, they've been absolutely trash ever since the knockout rounds, for the last 2 seasons anyway. First off, you've got them getting knocked out to Roma when they had such a comfortable lead, or like a 4-1 lead in the first leg, and then they went 3-0 down away. It was just absolutely shocking. They got done once again by an Italian club in Juventus, could not barely do a thing against them, and that was obviously in the prior round, or the prior leg, or the prior, game to them doing that amazing comeback, the greatest comeback of all time against PSG. I don't know if they're going to continue to struggle in the knockouts like they have been, who knows, but I still have them top of the group, which for me means it's going to come down to, I think surely Tottenham would grab that second spot. I feel very comfortable in giving it to them, but I feel like PSV or Inter Milan have maybe got a little bit something to give. They might maybe throw a little spanner in the works in this group. I mean, I still feel pretty comfortable putting Tottenham in second. It's the logical team to put, and it's the logical team to have underneath Barcelona in this group. But I can't tell between out of PSV or Inter Milan who's going to put up the more of a fight to get that second spot. So I'm really struggling to decide who's going to get third and fourth now. Look, I'm probably going to have Inter Milan in third only because of their firepower going forward. So I'll probably put them in there. PSV are very close and very unfortunate place, but I'm going to have them in fourth as well. And we'll see. Inter Milan, maybe they could potentially do something in this group. PSV, maybe less likely. Maybe that's another reason why. I feel like if any team aside from Barcelona or Tottenham was to actually get out this group, it would be Inter Milan in my opinion. Now into Group C, and I think a lot of people probably have this as the group that is the most difficult to call and the most, the toughest group that there is. We have got Paris Saint-Germain, we have got Napoli, Liverpool, and then Red Star Belgrade. We have got the runners-up of the Champions League last season, only seeded third in this group, underneath Napoli and Paris. This is really going to be a hell of a group. And let's just get the obvious one out of the way. Red Star Belgrade, I know they've got a very intimidating atmosphere. They're a very tough team to travel to. That intimidating atmosphere like we saw from them in the last Champions League season. But yeah, I'm still going to put them in fourth. They could maybe pull off a sneak surprise upset here or there, but enough to get them anywhere off the bottom of this group, I'm not so sure. I'll put them in fourth. Now I've just got to decide who's finishing 1, 2, and 3. PSG, they've always been one of those teams that you at some point expect to just go on a real serious run. Like that, have they ever made the semi-finals of the Champions League? I know they've never made the final, or at least in recent years, they've never made the final. I don't even think they've made the semis. Quarterfinals, yeah, sure, only once or twice here or there, but still, I'm shocked by, looking at teams that, like, lists and the players they've had prior, the fact that they've never really been able to go deep in this competition. I I have a feeling with Neymar, with Mbappe, and with all these lads that they've got in this side that maybe this could potentially be a pretty significant year in the Champions League for them. But because we're only talking about the group stages at this point, let's at least just put them on top of this group for now. Which means it comes down to Liverpool and Napoli. And I think even though Napoli are technically seated higher than Liverpool, the fact that we're talking about Liverpool, a team that made the Champions League final last season, a team that very well could challenge Manchester City for the title as well. And the fact that they once again don't really look to have taken any backward steps this season, I think they've looked very impressive in the Premier League. And I think, yeah, like for sure, another potential shot. I'm not sure if they're going to go again as far as they did last season, Liverpool, making it all the way to a final. But I expect them to once again be a threat in this comp, and I expect them to at least make it through to the knockouts. It would be insane if they made the final the season prior, improved, spent like 100, 150, 200 million or whatever, brought in all the pieces that they need, a bunch of awesome players like Alisson, Naby Keita, and Shaqiri, and a bunch of other great players, and didn't somehow manage to even get past the group stage. So for me, Paris and Liverpool 1 and 2, Napoli 3rd, Red Star Belgrade 4th. Now this is the group that I think a lot of people just want to get this one out of the way. This is Group D. We've got Lokomotiv Moscow, we have got Porto, Schalke, and Galatasaray. Not exactly the star power that the Champions League traditionally offers. It's so funny to see everyone talk smack about Group D and all the teams in it. Like, this is the Champions League. We expect the biggest teams in Europe, and we've got this. It's like, who accidentally snuck a Europa League group into the Champions League group stage? And look, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I tell you what, I've watched an awful lot of Lokomotiv Moscova games. I saw them probably about 20, 21 games last season, and, they look all right. No, I can't name a single fucking player in this team. Like, I really can't. I tell you what, I know Porto have had their struggles in the Champions League as of late. I know they've had a pretty tough track record actually getting out of the group stage in recent years. I know Schalke are actually meant to be quite decent. I know Galatasaray, Turkish teams normally go pretty hard, and that they're the current champions. So maybe, yeah, Galatasaray could do something. How about this? I will say Porto. Oh, do I put them? I'm going to say Schalke finish on top. And I'm going to say Porto finished 2nd, Galatasaray finishing up in 3rd, only maybe just, and then Lokomotiv in 4th. How about that? We'll get that out of the way. I'm not exactly putting my balls or, absolutely putting my pride and my reputation on the line with this group. I can get it completely wrong. I would not care. I would not care. Now on to Group E. It's nowhere near as, tame as the last one, but it's still, it's got its prospect. It's got Bayern, it's got Benfica, Ajax, and AEK. I think 2 teams here, Ajax and AEK, that had to go through the qualifying. It might not be, it may just be Ajax here, but Bayern and Benfica surely getting out of this one, maybe comfortably. I mean, you could maybe look to Ajax to throw in a bit of an upset here, but I kind of almost feel like the way that this group has been seeded is very, very similar to how it's, or pretty much bang on how it's going to finish. Kind of just like with Group A prior. I'm going to say Bayern in 1st. I'm going to say SL Benfica going to finish in 2nd. Ajax will pop in 3rd. And if a Greek team got through to the knockouts of the round of 16, I know that'd be a pretty big deal, but I just can't see them getting anywhere except bottom of this group. Group F though, Manchester City, Shakhtar Donetsk, Lyon, and Hoffenheim. Now, when this group was starting to take shape, I thought that Manchester City could probably feel pretty comfortable in the fact that they don't have to go up against another one of the real top heavy hitter sides. So again, for your toughest opponent in that group to be, it's tough to tell whether it's probably between either Lyon or Shakhtar Donetsk. I mean, I've seen a little bit of Hoffenheim this season and prior. I think I watched a Hoffenheim game and it's maybe a bit unfair to judge them on a cup game, but what was the Deutsche Pokal? And I don't know. Let's just first of all say Man City are going to finish top of this group because once again, quite comfortable. But I think the fun in this, in predicting Group F, is who's going to finish in that 2nd spot. Will it be Shakhtar? Will it be Lyon? Or maybe it could be Hoffenheim. I was going to say, I think Lyon maybe are or could have had a bit of a shot of making it through here, but they did sell Mariano, the keeper that they got from Real Madrid only a season or two, back to Real Madrid, which I don't exactly... I'm not sure, but of course they've still been able to retain a couple of pretty nice players like Nabil Fekir. Everyone thought he was going to go off to Liverpool. I think Nabil Fekir thought he was going to be heading off to Liverpool, but it didn't happen. He's still staying at Lyon, and if he can just sort of focus and get back on track and start playing his best football once again for OL, then I think maybe he could potentially fire them up into that 2nd spot. Stuffer, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say Lyon are going to get that 2nd spot, Shakhtar Donetsk in 3rd, and will probably chuck Hoffenheim in 4th. Now on to the final 2 groups in the Champions League. This one, Group G, has in it the current reigning 3-time UEFA Champions League champions Real Madrid, Roma, CSKA Moscow, and Victoria Pleasant. I do think Real Madrid are going to have to go through a little bit of a stage of trying to adjust without Ronaldo, of course, but they've still got top tier players and they'll definitely be able to, I think, fill the void somewhat anyway. I think that it's really the role that Ronaldo played in that team was just he let everyone else around him sort of create the chance, and he was that poacher, that off the ball. He would move around, he'd find himself in the perfect positions, and he'd set himself up for the goals as much as possible. And really, it's an art and a skill in itself what he was doing, but I'm sure they'll still be able to find someone to do that. It's the chance creation that Ronaldo wasn't exactly offering for Real Madrid. That's what they were doing for him. They were setting him up for these goals. So I don't think that's going to change. I still think Real Madrid are going to be able to create chances for whoever they're going to end up getting on the end of it, regardless, no matter what. I don't think that'll be a problem for them. So they just need to hopefully find someone that will be able to stick in the goals for them. They've got Bale, hopefully, that they're going to really rely on to get that done. Benzema, if he turns his form around, I don't know if they're going to bring anyone else in. How Mariano is going to go since getting him from Lyon. A lot of question marks around Real Madrid, but I still think it'd be insane to do anything but put them top of this group. And then the team I would assume the majority of the population would assume is going to finish in second underneath them and just qualify would be AS Roma once again. The team that made it all the way to the semi-finals. Yeah, they got absolutely pumped by Liverpool, but whatever. I still think we can pretty comfortably assume Roma to make it out of this group as well, with CSKA Moscow finishing in third and Victoria Pleasant in that fourth spot. We don't even have to talk about really either two of those teams an awful lot, honestly. I'm pretty confident we all know where each team is finishing in that group, or at least where they should. Now, for the final Champions League group, and this is not a bad one to finish on, we've got Juventus, Manchester United, Valencia, and Young Boys. Juve, once again, just another one of those teams that just haven't been able to quite get there just yet. They've come so close to winning the Champions League on multiple occasions. They made the final twice in the last, 3-4 seasons. They made the semi-finals prior, I think only last season as well. It was either the semis or the quarters, I'm not sure, but they were knocked out by Real Madrid. It just feels like at some point it's going to happen for them, surely. They've added, obviously, Ronaldo, who, even though he's really struggled to get going this season, to be fair, that's really been, that's how really Cristiano Ronaldo has started the majority of his seasons prior, Last season, I remember everyone was thinking, is this the end of him? Has he finally lost it? And then he picked it up toward the midway point of the season and just went absolutely crazy. He does not start seasons off very well, Cristiano Ronaldo, but he just builds in momentum. So I'm sure he's eventually going to get his shit together and he's really going to start firing for Juventus. He won't be a $100 million flop or a £100 million flop. I doubt that so highly, and I still think he'll lead Juventus somewhat deep into the Champions League. Whether or not it will be a final, I'm not quite sure, but I still will have them top of this group. Now, I assume a lot of you are probably going to think I'm going to put Manchester United in second underneath Juventus, but I feel like that's what a lot of people do by default, but I'm honestly genuinely struggling to just say, yeah, sure, of course they're going to finish in second, Valencia third, Young Boys fourth. I'm not sure if they're going to make it out of the group here, Manchester United. They've had 3 games so far this season, Manchester United. The game against Leicester where they just managed to get the win, looked okay, not great. The game against Brighton away, they were atrocious. They were just unorganised, absolutely horrific. The game against Tottenham, they were looking okay in the first half. We got overwhelmed in the second, and even though they looked real good, real strong in the first half, and were probably the much better side, they still end up losing 3-0, and they just, it's a tough one. I can't really quite put my finger on what's happening at Manchester United, but they haven't filled me with an awful lot of confidence this season. I want to do something really ballsy and say that Valencia are going to finish in second, but I can't do it. And the fact that the Champions League group stage happens over such a long period of time, I've got to assume that Manchester United have got more to give than what they've shown already this season. So I can't say in good conscience they'll finish in or outside of the top 2. So we'll give Juventus first. We'll give Manchester United second. I came this bloody close to putting Valencia in second, but no, we'll have to put them in third, and Young Boys can go in fourth. So then, that is the group draw prediction for the UEFA Champions League. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully it'll all end up relatively close to what I've said here. And just a side note too, by the way, congratulations to Luka Modric for winning men's best UEFA player. I genuinely do think now, with the season that he's had and the year that he's had, getting Croatia to a World Cup final, winning the Golden Ball there, now the UEFA men's player, I genuinely think that this could be his year. I might make a video separate to this, but I genuinely now think at this point, after winning this award, he may well be on his way to a Ballon d'Or. We may finally see someone not called Lionel Messi or maybe Cristiano Ronaldo win the Ballon d'Or for the first time in like a decade. We will see. We will see how it all ends up. But until the next one, guys, my name is the MasterBucks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a good one.